Back to work, back to work. I know it's been 3 days since we put a video up, but kind of an odd weekend for things. Looked at some timber, went and looked at a truck, a Peterbilt. Hopefully I can kind of got my fingers crossed on this Peterbilt deal. I'm not gonna say or talk too much about it until I do it, because it's it'll be kind of a fun little project toy type deal. So we're trying to get some ash cut this morning, trying to get a few ash cut to kind of finish out a good load of pallet type material. Some of this ash, like, I'm going ahead of Dad, barking it, of course. So some of this ash is pretty good. Some of it, like this stuff here, I mean, it's not real big, not hardly worth doing much with. Then gotta watch for this stuff here, man. That'll ruin a skidder tire real fast right here. The last guys that were in here logging, they've got little stobs everywhere from where they were cutting. So you really got to be careful. Man, we've ruined tires on those things before. Sure have. It seems like when you get in this grass right here, you can't hardly see them. So a lot of times I run with the blade down, trying to knock them up, or if I can hit them with the blade, at least I know they're there and I can kind of go around them if they don't come out of the ground. You like this old locust stuff. The beavers don't want it either. There's starting to be a lot of it growing down through here. So I think all the better trees are back to the direction. These are just some doubles and triples type stuff, but ain't got any size to it. We'll go back this way, see if we can get a few more barked. That's a pretty good sized tree there Dad's whittling on. Kind of seaming through there. I don't know how much left's holding on it. Kind of a gloomy day. The weather's been real weird this weekend. Real weird. Oh, she's popping. She's about ready to go. Oh, there she goes. Shaboom. Weird weekend for weather. They had record highs in places yesterday, then we were pretty cold. The weather took kind of a change yesterday, but it dropped 20 degrees in a real short time there at Stockton. But they had record highs around Springfield, and foggy, just crazy weather this time of year, crazy weather. So Dad's got that down. Let's go see if we can bark a few more, and we're gonna try to get them out, get them bucked. Speaking of bucks, pretty good rub right there. We're gonna go get them bucked, try to get them out. Well, that's got the wraps on this one. Dad's bucking up his last two right there. I bucked up a few of them. He's bucking up the last two. I'm letting the skid steer warm up here. We'll pile up these ash, and it's all ash and one sycamore. Well, a couple of them did pretty good. The smaller ones, with the smaller hearts. These bigger trees, like any of them, zoom in there, get focused. There we go. They just got bigger hearts, but they've got some size to them. So that's got the wraps on this job. We should have got it wrapped up this weekend, but there's always something going on with us. We've always got something to do. So I will probably, when we leave today, I'll probably take the skid steer with me. Then I'll possibly come back and grab the skidder tonight and get it moved to the next job. That way we can just continue on working tomorrow. Luckily the next job, it's closer to home. It's actually not too far from the yard there, maybe 10 miles. So that'll be nice to work close to home to finish out the week, because it's another job of walnut, just strictly walnut, and it's actually a job I've been looking at. I've tried buying it before in the past, and I never could get it bought, never could get the trigger pulled on it. Of course, they called me one time about wanting to sell it, and they didn't know if they wanted to sell it or not. And next time I seen them, and still the same thing, they didn't know. Well, the property sold and changed hands, and the new owners want to sell it, and they contacted me, and I was really surprised when I got the call about it. I was happy to get the call, to say the least. We've cut timber all in that area. It's pretty good trees, really, pretty good trees. And they've grown a lot since I looked at them, and I honestly didn't remember them being as good as they were. And that's always a plus. So let's pile these up here. I'm going to pile these few up, and I'm actually going to throw the bucket on. We're going to scrape the deck area here, make sure all the small stuff's scraped off the deck, all the little end trimmings and stuff. I'm going to trim a couple of these walnut, then we're going to leave the bucket on. I'm going to push out some of that junk there where that old fencer or whatever used to be, just to kind of make it look better for the landowner. We've already moved the skid steer, got it to the next job. We're getting ready to load up the skidder now, truck it on home. Hopefully we can, it's been kind of mist and rain off and on the last couple hours. Of course, it's, you know, the stupid time change stuff. They're always, it's getting darker early, which I don't necessarily like it getting dark at 5. I mean, it's 4:30 now or later. So, yeah. Which it looks a lot lighter looking through the camera here than what it appears to be outside. But, yeah, so we're gonna get the skidder loaded up, get it on its way. We'll probably just take it on back to the house tonight with us, because it'd be dark by the time I unload, and I don't have any work lights on that skidder. So we'll just take it to the job in the morning. I've already kicked the skid steer off there. So we got that there and on its way. So we're working pretty close to home this week. There at Humansville, Missouri. Like I said, about 10 miles from the yard. So it won't be too bad. It'd be nice to be close to home for a change. Hopefully for the next 2 weeks, we'll be close to home, and we'll, you know, you never know where we're going to be. I've got timber strung out everywhere, so it's just a matter of which one we go to after that. And of course, we got a lot of timber to look at. But it's been a good job. I didn't do much clearing. I widened this out here. I thought I had more diesel fuel in the skid steer. I was going to try to take on a little more of that. We got that widened out, make it a little easier to get through there. Kind of looks a little better, I think. I'd like to do the whole row, but some of that stuff comes out a little harder than you think. I didn't think I'd have that much trouble pushing some of that stuff, but some of it I did. Either way, we'll kick the ramps down, load up, and get on our way. I don't necessarily like hauling in the dark, but we're going to do it anyway, especially when it's raining like this. When it's kind of mist and rain, you got to be extra careful because that pavement gets slick. You don't want to be trucking too fast down the road, not that you ever do anyway. We use extra caution when the pavement gets a little slick with the rain, a little greasy. Here's some of that ash we cut today. Big hearts on it. That's the bad thing about it. Big hearts. Which that's pretty common on this big ash, but you never know. Sometimes you get lucky and it can be a small heart. The smaller stuff, as you could probably imagine, it has a smaller heart on it, which makes for better quality ash. This little butt log here, virtually no heart. That's a good little log right there. That big guy there, big nasty heart. Just logs, just pallet. They'll cut a little grade out of this ash, but that big nasty hearted stuff. And I've heard a lot of rumors about what they're doing with that ash. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard a lot of rumors about they're sawing that ash. And a lot of people know they steam walnut, like even the sapwood stuff. A lot of that stuff has got the sapwood. They'll put that walnut in a steamer, and it comes out all the same color. It steams the sapwood to be a dark color, like the heartwood in the walnut. Well, I've heard that they saw the ash, and what they'll do is when they put that ash, of course, they steam it when it's green. Probably not too long after it comes off the mill. What they're doing is they're putting a layer of that ash in between a layer of walnut, kind of like making a sandwich out of it. And they will steam that, and that ash will come out looking the same color as walnut. Now, that's what I've heard. I don't know what the truth is to that, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me, because the last couple of years, it seems like there's been in our area, there's been a big push for this ash. So I could see that happening. There's crafty people in the world. Crafty people out there. So let's kick the ramps down, load this thing up so we can get on our way. All right, we're loaded, headed home. Hungry. I'm ready to get home so I can eat. I'm excited to get started on the new job tomorrow. pretty excited about that. This timber we've been trying to buy for a while. Me and Dad were talking about that again today. It's just, it's nice to finally, you know, when you've been chasing something for so long, to finally nail it down. So I'm glad we're finally getting to cut it. I had, and I'm gonna reply to this comment as well, but I had somebody send me a comment, and I know the last few days have been bad about replying to comments. I'm sorry about that. I've been busy. But the last, looking at something there. The last, I don't even know where I was going with that. Okay, yeah, the last few days have been bad about responding to comments. But I got a comment this morning on the way to work, and I was driving, so I didn't reply to it. But I had a gentleman from back on the East Coast, I believe, somewhere back there. I know you said you were asking how we bought walnut, if we bought it on the shares, if we bought it outright, or something else, I believe. And it just depends. It really does. It depends on the job. It depends on the landowner. It really just depends on my client. Some people will not sell walnut unless it's lump sum up front. You buy it before you cut it. And that's very understandable. That is very understandable, because there's been a lot of people burned with shady deals and bad deals, and I don't blame them a bit. I really don't. Then some people want to cut it on the shares, and that's good too. Each one has its advantages and disadvantages. It truly does. We, you know, like I said, it just depends on the landowner. We buy a lot of logs outright. I don't mind buying timber standing outright. I really don't. I mean, it's a gamble. And like a lot of the big trees you've seen us cut this fall, like the trees we've went and cut single trees, it's a gamble. It really is. And, you know, I'm not batting too good this fall on them big trees, because each one of them we've cut have cut a little bad. And so it's really been in the landowner's favor. It really has been. But at the same time, I always take in consideration when I'm buying lump sum, because you don't know what the inside of that tree looks like. And, I mean, the great thing about cutting on the shares is if the trees do good, we all do good. I, myself, the logger, the landowner, we all do good. If the trees do bad, we all do bad. So it just depends on the landowner, how they want to sell their timber. And a lot of times we've got extra incentives involved. You know, here in cattle country, and people ask me all the time about why we cut the stumps so low. Well, for one, we're in cattle country. You know, we've got to cut those stumps low, because a lot of times we're logging in pastures or hay fields or something like that, where they want to brush hog over, they're going to mow for hay, something along those lines, you know. Well, they don't want that tree stump out there, so we cut them low to the ground as possible. And plus, with walnut, you want to get every inch of that brown wood you can. That stump's important when you're selling walnut logs. It really is. So that's another reason why we cut low. We don't notch them. Rarely ever will you see us put a notch in a walnut tree. We just don't do it. Don't do it. I was going somewhere else with all this too. But yeah, cattle country, it just depends. And I don't mind. I always tell my landowners, we can buy the timber either way. It's whatever you prefer. Like I said, both of them have their advantages and disadvantages for the landowner and the logger. So it just depends on the timber, depends on the landowner, what they want. You never know. Hope that answers your question. I really do. And I'll reply to that comment as well in the comment section where you left me that on the video. So I'm kind of scatterbrained right now. I'm trying to do a million things at once and got a million ideas racing through my head at once. Guys, I'm going to get off here. Going to haul this skidder home. It's going to go home with me tonight. Then tomorrow we'll just take it straight to the job when we get up, go to coffee, and go to work, because we're just a few miles to the next job. Guys, appreciate you following along. Sorry it's been a few days since we posted. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Promise tomorrow will be something a little better. We'll be cutting some timber tomorrow, so check that out. Be sure to check out our social media outlets, Turner Logging Instagram, Turner Logging on Facebook, and that's Turner Logging LLC. Check out Timber Tracker on Instagram, Timber Tracker on Facebook, plus the app you can download on ISO, the Apple products, and all Android devices. And check us out at Logger Threads, guys. We're pushing those shirts, those timber shirts, to represent the logging industry. Guys, I'm getting off here. I'm going to drive, get the seatbelt on, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great night.